It's just about rewiring our thinking and changing our belief system. So you have to become the person that you want to attract. The ego mind craves having an identity, and we use our past hurt experiences to identify who we are or patterns that happen, and we don't have to choose to claim that anymore. The universe's way of poking you and testing you and seeing if you're actually really ready and changing how you react to those certain things. Hi guys, welcome to Self-Care Sundays with Sophia, where we talk about self-love, self-growth, and everything in between. Today's video is all about how to attract a high-quality man by reframing your beliefs. So let's get right into it. Okay, so it's a very common known thing that what you believe is your reality. So we have to start with the most basic thing of all is your beliefs. Looking at what does your belief system say about men in general. When you think of men or the idea of dating men, what do you think? Do you think of F-boys? Do you think like, ugh, another one bites the dust? Do you think like, oh, it always is good in the beginning and then it always goes to shit after? Like which pattern, being honest with yourself about which pattern you tend to keep finding yourself in. So here is a classic saying that most women I feel like end up saying is, all men are F-boys. Or I think the top one is, well, it's just this city. There's no men in this city. I refuse to have those beliefs. All it takes is one man, and even if you do live in a small city and the men seem to be low quality, I swear every city says that about their own city. So it's just not the case. All it takes is one, but the more you say that and affirm that, the more that's just going to be your reality. We all know how manifestation and the law of attraction works, and the law of expectancy, the law of assumption. It's assuming that there's not going to be high quality men in your radar is not a good place to be, and we need to reframe and start saying to ourselves, I have options. I am only pursued by high quality men. I am a high value woman. Things like that. And also becoming who you want to attract. If you were to write down a list of your perfect person, are you the mirror version of that in a woman? Do you know what I mean? I had actually a huge epiphany with my girlfriends. This was kind of a while ago now, and it seems obvious, but it wasn't for some reason. So I've been single a very long time, and I'm a very social, extroverted person, so I like to go out. However, the last few years, I've kind of been really deep into the self-care, protecting my energy, being mindful of the types of environments I surround myself in, gym, healthy, meditation, manifestation, all of that, right? And me and my girlfriend had a bit of an epiphany where like, okay, we go out basically every weekend, and yes, our perceptions are off. All we see is F-boys, men that party too much, men that talk to multiple women. Our perception is off. However, I would not want to date a man who was in the scene or who was going out every weekend. So we kind of said to ourselves, oh my gosh, I'm sure like our husbands also wouldn't want to be dating women that go out every weekend. And even though we knew, and I know that I'm a good person and I am absolutely wifey material, I love myself, I know that I'm a good person with good morals, and I'm not one of those partier girls, there I was finding myself being out every single weekend. So to be honest, yeah, I wouldn't want to date a man who dates girls that are like that. So my reality was completely contradicting itself. There I was going out and being on the lookout. Well, not necessarily being on the lookout, but I wasn't even on the lookout because my belief was they're all F-boys. What's the point? However, my point is being in that environment so often is not high vibe or high value or any of that. And that's not to say I'm going to stop going out, but I haven't drank in over a month. It feels incredible. I've been very focused on my self-care. Meditation game has been so strong and I feel incredible. But I'm just more aware at this age and day of life, who am I surrounding myself with? I want to be around people that make me feel uplifted and make me feel good. So a club usually isn't that environment. Sure, it's fun once in a while for a girls' night or a celebration or something, but every weekend being in that atmosphere is just not good for attracting a high value man, because like we said earlier, A high quality man would not want a woman who's in the club every weekend or out every weekend. So you have to become the person that you want to attract. And back to that list of what your dream man has, would that dream man date all of the things that you do and who you are essentially as a person? Writing the dream list down and then writing down you, writing down a list beside that, who you are becoming now. It's all about identity shifting. Unfortunately, we look back at the past because I think the ego mind craves having an identity, and we use our past hurt experiences to identify who we are or patterns that happen, and we don't have to choose to claim that anymore. It's just about rewiring our thinking and changing our belief system. And how are we going to change our belief system? Change our environment, change our experiences, and start to see, consciously be aware, oh no, I don't attract all F-boys. That was a great quality man, but he wasn't for me. It really is about just self-care, having a good value system and being confident in who you are. Because when you get your mind right and your self-love is on point, you won't even have to worry about attracting a high quality man. They will just come to you because, like we said earlier, who you are is who you're going to attract. And you don't have to worry about the techniques or what this blog said or this magazine said, or, don't answer for too long, be busy. Doing all those techniques, you don't have to worry about that. It will just come natural to you, because if you put yourself first, then the man will start putting you first, and you're going to start attracting high quality men. So your outer reality eventually will start mirroring your inner reality. It usually just takes some time. When you change on the inside, you're going to be triggered by a lot of old patterns, and that's just kind of like the universe's way of poking you and testing you and seeing if you're actually really ready and changing how you react to those certain things. So for example, if an F-boy comes up to you and starts hitting on you and he goes, oh, what's your Snapchat? And only texts you on Snapchat, instead of teaching him a lesson or taking that low effort, just not responding. You don't really have to give an explanation. It's generally kind of like a young person thing and like a sneaky link type vibe. So if they're using Snapchat to communicate with you, you need to let them know that doesn't work for you. And if they're not willing to text you or put in effort other ways, then that's not a high quality man, or he's not seeing you as a high quality woman. So you want to run for the hills. That he might just be in a place where he just wants to have fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, that's not what you're looking for. So you got to get out of that ASAP. Also, when you're detached from a person or situations or a certain outcome, you're going to have so much more freedom that way. Let's say you are talking to somebody and they're not behaving the way you prefer to be treated. Setting a boundary and sticking to it, having those little micro wins and changing the narrative of how it always has gone for you. If you've always attracted the same type of men who ghosts you or starts to pull back, not reacting the way you have in the past because it hasn't worked for you in the past, so doing something different. And honestly, celebrating those micro wins. Let's say there's an F-boy that comes at you, or actually this happened recently. Let's say an athlete comes at you and sends you a DM on Instagram, and it's very just low effort, and you know that guy's been in tons of other girls' DMs. Why are you even answering it? If you know that this guy's young, he's attractive, he's an athlete, it's kind of passing prejudgment, but if he really wants to make a proper move, he's going to make more of an effort. So when a man really wants something, they will get it. But also being aware of what you're looking for. Am I looking for a young athlete who's in his prime and probably partying with girls in every single city? No, that's not what I want. So I didn't even answer. Yes, the guy's really attractive, but what's the point of answering? That just brings my energy down. And if he, again, this is kind of making prejudgments, but who cares? That's what my belief was about him, because to be honest, this certain guy, I know he's been in a ton of other girls' DMs, and I know that he's probably just looking for fun, and I'm not. So I felt proud of myself because I think the old me would have responded just because, he's hot and ooh, woohoo, but like, what's the point? And reacting to those F-boys it's not good for your energy because it puts you in a vibration of lower quality men or men that aren't ready to commit when that's what you're looking for. Also, back to the detachment thing, even just rewriting patterns from guys from the past. Let's say you have some guys that you'll talk to here and there just for fun, whatever. And in the past, they're clearly not your boyfriend, but out of boredom, they'll message you and you'll respond every once in a while. If you have the urge to message them and you are a little bit in doubt about it, the best thing to do is when in doubt, don't. But generally, messaging a man first, we're just not doing that. Our husbands are not going to wait and not going to play some game. If they want you, they're going to go and get you. And that's the only thing we should be responding to is men that are all in. They know we're a queen. They see our worth. The rest of the men don't deserve our attention, unfortunately. Anyways, what I was saying is if you have an urge to message them and you don't, you just say, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do it. I don't need to get some dopamine hit from that just because I want to hear from him. That's needing something from the outside, and that's being and that's doing, not being. Masculine is doing, feminine is being. So they should be the ones messaging you, making the action, and you should just sit there and be in your energy. So if you have an urge to message him and you decide, you know what, I don't need that. I'm going to sit back and not message him and feel detached, that is a win. That's changing a pattern. I think before, maybe if you had that urge to just message him and get some dopamine rush or be the pursuer, that's not the energy we're doing anymore. We're reframing and becoming in our feminine, sitting back and only giving the attention to men who treat us like queens and being proud of ourselves every time we say no to an old pattern. I think it's about celebrating the little wins like that. Or for example, let's say an ex-situationship reaches out and it's like 2 a.m. and they obviously are trying to get a booty call or something, not responding. And no, not responding the next day being like, hey, sorry, I was sleeping. It's 2 a.m. They're obviously drunk and wanting to see if you're down to hook up. That is disrespect. So not responding to those old patterns is just kind of teaching. It's actually more teaching yourself that you don't put up with that. It's teaching that man who doesn't even matter, that old situationship or whatever from the past, that the new you does not put up with that anymore. But it's really sending a message to the universe saying, no, I don't respond to 2 a.m. text messages. I don't even give them the time of day because how dare you think I haven't talked to you in, 3 months and you randomly just do a 2 a.m. text? I'm not even following up the next day. That's not what we're doing here. So it's really just proving to yourself, I value myself, I respect myself, and we're not putting up with that. And we're not even necessarily mad at it because, let's be serious, the old you probably would have said yes to that. So of course this guy's gonna shoot his shot, but he'll learn very quickly that, oh, okay, she's not doing that anymore. I guess I gotta adjust to the new norm if I wanna be in her world. And if he doesn't want to adjust to that new norm, he will go away, which he's probably doing you a favor because if he ever treated you like that in the past, that's not high value. That's not being treated like a queen. Okay, so again, if our self-care is on point, a lot of these things we won't really have to worry about because we will respect ourselves. Having those little micro wins and changing the narrative of how it used to go, you just start to slowly gain so much more respect for yourself, and it's just, that's why we don't really have to worry about this. But a lot of the reason this happens or we respond to half-ass effort from men is because we're craving some sort of rush or some hit that they initially gave you before. People are honestly, you can get addicted to people. It's the same dopamine rush that you would get from like drugs or something. So I'm gonna actually write a list. I'm gonna list some things that are unhealthy hits versus healthy hits, if that makes sense. I watched a video the other day. It said, don't chase instant gratification, chase delayed gratification. So it's kind of like we said before about how your inner reality might change, but it takes a while to see it on the outside because you're doing some real work inside and it's going to reflect to you later, not having some quick fix rush by impulsively sending a message. So some examples of unhealthy dopamine hits are 1, obsessing over somebody. constantly thinking in your head over and over, reliving a scenario or a scenario that you made up, and it gives you kind of like a rush. Also, listening to songs that remind you of that person and daydreaming scenario, it kind of goes hand in hand. But if you listen to that song over and over again and it puts you in that vibration of feeling, obsessing over this person, people can feel when you're thinking about them. The best case scenario is really just being so focused on yourself that another man doesn't really cross your mind. Maybe it will once in a while, but he should only really cross your mind when he's pursuing you, when he's reaching out and he's doing something kind for you. That's the only time he should have real estate in your mind. Besides that, if this is just like a random Tuesday and you haven't heard from him in 5 days, no, he should not be on your mind. You should be busy and focusing on yourself. Another unhealthy, quick fix, instant gratification, obviously, is substances, alcohol, anything like that that just makes you feel good right away. That's obviously not healthy. Any TV shows that you don't really learn from, it's just kind of like a mind filler thing, or binging on food, ordering fast food, low quality foods just to get that rush, that dopamine rush. Gossip is a huge one as well. We connect to others through misery, if that makes sense. So if you want to gossip with somebody, that's like something you do with that certain friend, that's like their way of bonding, and that's not really a high vibe relationship, to be honest. But in the moment, it does kind of feel good because you're connecting about that vent or that negativity. So enough about the negative, unhealthy, instant gratification dopamine hits. Let's talk about the healthy hits, the healthy dopamine hits. One of my favorite healthy dopamine hits lately has been decluttering, getting rid of old clothes, getting rid of even just like expired food in the cupboard, getting rid of old products that are expired or they're just not good for you. That feels so incredible. Having a clean space means having a clean mind. And that kind of goes in hand with having a to-do list and doing a check mark after each task. We humans, we crave accomplishment. So each little task that you can do, it's like celebrating, like I said, those micro wins. That is going to be more of a long-term gratification that lasts longer too. It's not just going to be like a woohoo and then it's over. It's going to make you feel good overall. It's going to build your character and your self-esteem. My favorite one, the gym, doing your cardio is just life-changing. And also reading, feeding your mind, good stuff. And it's kind of like a form of meditation because you're focused on that one thing. It really clears your mind when you read. Cooking healthy, making a nice meal and feeling like that girl, feeling like a wifey, making yourself muffins, preparing food for the next day. That's gonna make you feel very confident and good about yourself. Of course, doing meditations. My favorite is the Breathe app, and that's going to put you in the present moment, and it's gonna make you be able to be aware of reframing the entire scenario, getting rid of the old patterns, attracting low quality men, acting like a high quality woman. That's what meditation is going to do for you. It's going to make you aware of your patterns and your thought processes, and it's going to completely rebrand that. And the main one is just putting the focus on yourself, taking care of you first, putting yourself first. That is going to be the most attractive quality of all. And honestly, you know what to do. You know exactly what to do. It's all about putting one foot in front of the other. You know how there's like tasks where you say, oh, I want to start doing healthy things, but you're not doing it? That tells me that your self-love isn't actually on point, because if you did love yourself, you would want to better yourself and you would have better discipline because you'd want to improve your life. And if these things feel like so much effort, then that also tells me that your self-love isn't really on point, because when you really do feel good about yourself, you're gonna want to do these things. And I know that kind of sounds like a contradiction, because it's like, okay, well, how do I love myself if I don't want to do these things and I'm stuck, and that's how I'm gonna start loving myself? Well, it's back to those small micro wins. Start with what you can start with and celebrate those small wins, and they eventually will get bigger and bigger. Nothing was built overnight, and instead of focusing on these unhealthy dopamine hits and these instant gratification things, we need to build a foundation and a base, because with life, there's always going to be highs and lows. But if you don't have a strong base to be able to have the skills to talk yourself through it, you're going to crumble. Attracting high quality men means that you know that you are high quality yourself. So not needing any man to give you any type of gratification or any type of validation. You know that you're incredible. And that's another thing about detachment, is not needing them to fill up your cup. You can fill up your own cup, and you're not really concerned or thinking about anybody else. Not giving men who don't deserve the real estate in your mind, not giving them that real estate. Like I said, the only time a man should really enter your mind is if he just, like, I don't know, sent you flowers, or he just sent you a kind message, or he did something, he did something. He actually was pursuing you and putting in effort. That's the only time you should think about him. You shouldn't be daydreaming about a man who does nothing, is low quality, and doesn't make you feel great. He doesn't deserve your time. So really, it's kind of back to those affirmations. And if your self-love and your routine is strong, it's pretty easy to implement these new beliefs, because if you meditate, you're more aware of every thought that goes through your mind. So just not claiming this old identity of, oh, I only attract F-boys, or, oh, of course it's not going to work out. No, you don't have to identify with that previous version of yourself anymore. How about you step in today and be like, oh, I'm the girl who gets any man she wants. Everything goes her way. I'm always pursued. I'm always treated like a lady because I am a lady. Writing down dream girl qualities and just start becoming her, and not needing somebody else to fill up your own cup. Believing that men constantly pursue you. It's hard to just suddenly start believing it, but that's why affirmations, with repetition, it works. So I only attract high quality men. I attract men that want to fly me first class to Europe, and they want to spend quality time with me. They want to romance me. They want to hit all of my 5 love languages. They are just obsessed with me. They're fascinated by me. They make me feel feminine. Just saying all of these things and getting excited about it and knowing that it is coming for you. And that also, you will naturally be less detached if you finally start to believe that he is here, your perfect partner is out there. He is high quality, high value, and he's going to treat you like a queen, because that is the only thing you're going to put up with. You have to truly be okay with being single and being on your own in order to be able to attract this, because men don't want to feel pressured. They don't want to feel like you need them to fill up your cup. You need to really be in your divine feminine to be able to attract this. So it just goes back to, again, my favorite thing, focusing on yourself. Putting the focus on yourself and reminding yourself that you are high value. You only attract high quality men and high quality experiences. Life always goes your way. You are a queen, a star, fabulous, baddie, and beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed today's topic, and I will see you next week on Self-Care Sundays with Sophia. I'm Sophia Pearson. You can find me on all my social medias at Sophia Pearson. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.